All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Chongqing Major SEA Qualifiers. We have an action-packed day of games ahead of you today. We got Tigers versus WarriorsGaming.Unity here on this stream. Over on the other stream, there is going to be Fnatic versus Boom ID. We're over in Group B. Most of Group A is wrapped up. We do have one more match of Group A to play today. That's going to be Mineski versus Lotac. But that's later on in the day. We got 3 full best of 3s on each stream. So lots and lots of SEA coverage coming your way. I wanted to start talking a little bit about the stats overall for the whole qualifier, but it looks like we don't have the league actually working on Dota buff at the moment. So just going to kind of talk about general trends. And the bans are actually moving pretty quickly in this draft. Surprised to see the Mirana getting removed. Keeper of the Light actually getting a ban, interestingly enough. Undying. So it looks like the only thing that's really recognizable from the drafts of yesterday was that we have this Dazzle band out. That's about it. The Dazzle has been pretty popular. We saw him a little bit as a, well, yesterday, I guess it was mostly as a core. I don't know if we saw any support Dazzle yesterday. I wanted to look up some of the matches from CIS. I understand that there was some pretty interesting stuff going on there. One of the teams played one round and then pulled out. I think there's some other conflicting event that teams are trying to play in at the moment, so it's a little bit of an interesting situation. But Lich going to be banned out. Grimstroke's being quite popular. Didn't really receive too many changes before getting added to Captain's Mode, which I think was a little bit of a surprise to some people. And Tiger's just going straight in for Spirit Breaker. Okay. SB Lone Druid. So the Lone Druid's been quite popular. We saw JT and Raven both play it yesterday. JT, I think he played the hero just fine. I just think that the lineup wasn't really built around him all that well. And then Raven just went crazy on his game on the Lone Druid. So it seems like most people are just kind of playing ranged Lone Druid at the moment, building a couple of Wraith bands, get a Maelstrom and a Dragonlance, stay in ranged form. Haven't seen anyone trying to do anything with a Radiance or whatnot. I do wonder with the new Spirit Link if there's maybe the opportunity to go for kind of a third style of build where you're getting items on both the hero and the bear and then sort of sending them both in. I don't know what exactly that would look like. There used to be a build way back in the days of Dota 1 where people would just buy 2 bashers on both the main hero and on the bear and then just run around trying to stun lock people to death. I don't know if that would be even remotely viable, but you know that still kind of exists. We have seen some old school inspiration in some of the recent builds, and these bans are just flying. So Naga continuing to be this second phase ban. I think we only saw the one Naga game yesterday, at least in the games that I cast. That was JT playing it, and Lifestealer removed. Okay, it's kind of interesting. Decent against the Spirit Breaker and against the bear. Tiger's also now just going to grab the Earth Spirits. So 2 potentially very heavy roaming supports right now. Though not 100% clear if this Spirit Breaker is going to be played as a core or as a support. We're going to see the Sand King. SK has been very popular so far. And I feel like the meta is still just kind of sorting itself out. As some teams continue to excel and move deeper into the qualifiers, and as we pile on more and more regions for the qualifiers overall, I think things will start to settle down a little bit, but right now, feeling like it is pretty, at least a little bit up in the air. So Earth Spirit did get changed pretty significantly. Like I've said, does feel a little bit less clutch in some circumstances now that he only has kind of a single target stun, no AoE stun. But the slow is quite powerful, and the fact that the stun is now tied to the roll means that once you max it out, you've got a stun on a 4-second cooldown. Also, pretty nice quality of life change, getting the extra stone really helping out in teamfight situations. So it still seems like the hero is probably decent overall. And Warriors Gaming now taking a little bit of their reserve time to consider exactly what they want to do. They do have to decide if the Sand King is going to be like position 4 or position 3. And I would say that they're pretty likely to run him as the position 3. So just gonna grab Tusk as that pause for. Surprised that Tusk made it all the way through into the second round without getting banned. He was getting pretty highly prioritized in the previous game. And Tigers are just doing this is some old school stuff. They're just gonna throw Ion Shells on Earth Spirit and Spirit Breaker, and that seems to be the game plan right now. Lone Druid to hit some buildings. They've got last pick to pick whatever good matchup they want. Very interesting.
10 seconds remaining.
So yeah, this is kind of an old school draft, I would say. WarriorsGaming.Unity feeling pretty focused on the new patch. They've still got 2 core picks to grab. In terms of what they want to go for, you know, often if you're looking at this Darkseer, we haven't seen so much Darkseer recently, but thinking about counters, like Anti-Mage used to be quite popular in terms of dealing with the Darkseer. Jug is okay. I don't think you want to play Anti-Mage against Spirit Breaker. That does not sound fun. That's just a really, really difficult matchup. Even if it's a support Spirit Breaker, it just makes Anti-Mage's life hell. So WarriorsGaming.Unity are just going to go for a Morphling here.
10 seconds
of course, it wasn't really changed too much in between the last patch and the new one, so
5 seconds
still
remaining.
certainly a strong hero overall. Don't know how he's going to do against this pressure kind of coming in from the Earth Spirit Darkseer. Maybe we'll see the Morphling just run on mid. They do have 2 really strong supports to be able to contest that lane, so if they're really worried about this Darkseer lane, then they can just bring the Tusk and the Grimstroke down there and try and find some kills on him. Just the Dragon Knight banned out, so Tiger's thinking that this is going to be a safe lane Morphling and that Warriors Gaming are still looking for their mid. I don't know why they would ban the Dragon Knight given that they've got the last pick, but I guess DK is pretty difficult to counterpick. Maybe they want to force Warriors Gaming to pick something that's a little bit more counterpickable.
10 seconds remaining.
Just making sure that all my audio and stuff is all good. I was a little bit loud apparently at the beginning of the stream yesterday, guys, so let me know how the audio levels are going and whatnot. Can adjust those. But Warriors Gaming, this is a very important ban for them because they have to pick blindly. They don't know what Tigers is going to go for the last grab. We could see an Invoker here. What other options do they have? I guess they mostly want something that feels strong against the Morphling. A little bit more lockdown wouldn't be a terrible idea. They don't have an enormous amount of synergy with the Darkseer at the moment. I think Darkseer Earth Spirit was certainly stronger back when you could vacuum everybody into the Boulder Smash. Now that the Boulder Smash is just a slow, doesn't really seem nearly as big of a deal. They can vacuum everybody into a Spirit Breaker charge or something, but they don't have a ton of ways to utilize the vacuum at the moment. So I wonder what In Your Dream's going to end up playing here. Am I supposed to call him In Your Dream or Wonder Kid? He's playing under Wonder Kid now, but
remaining.
I feel like most people know him as In Your Dream.
5 seconds remaining.
All right. Where's Gaming? What are they going to go for here? Do they have enough jump for this Lone Druid? I think they do. They've got the Tusk to get in, Sand King to get in. Morphling is relatively mobile, so I don't think they have to pick something that's good at jumping the Lone Druid. I guess the big reason to ban the Dragon Knight in this situation is that it's a hero that can actually kind of sustain and survive against the Earth Spirit and Spirit Breaker ganks. Like, I'm just picturing that there's going to be Earth Spirit and Spirit Breaker loaded up with ion shells and heading around, making some ganks happen. So they need a hero that can kind of cope with that, and their answer is going to end up being the Necrophos. Okay, this is looking like a really... I think this is a quite good Quaswex Invoker game for Tigers here. Like, the Spirit Vessel and Tornado both... It destroys Necrophos. It makes life pretty hard for the Morphling. Even the Mana Burn as well is super annoying. So I'd really like to see Invoker here for Tigers, but instead they're just going to go for Lina. Alright, I mean the burst damage also good. Alright, who's playing what here? So Ajit is on Lina, and we've got In Your Dream on Lone Druid. Okay. So is Lone Druid safe lane or not? I think they want Lone Druid in one of the side lanes because they want these supports to be completely free to just do whatever they want this game. I think that's one of the most important things that they've got going in this lineup, is that because they have the Lone Druid, they've basically enabled themselves to have 2 roaming supports. Lone Druid doesn't really need any help, and this game should really be defined by 1437 and Zephyr just running around, hopefully finding kills. And it'll be up to Warriors Gaming.Unity to see if they can kind of do the same thing. They do have CZY on this Tusk, and Felix on the Grimstroke. So they've got pretty good ganking potential of their own, and I think a lot of this game is going to come down to these early rotations out of the supports on both sides. So we'll really have to see. Because I think if Tigers can get some momentum going, then it's going to be pretty scary. They're going to get some group up. The Darkseer can go for, say, a mech and a pipe, and at that point, I feel like they're just not going to have the damage on the Warriors Gaming Unity side to actually find any kills. They're very reliant on magical damage, but they're also really reliant on the Scythe. They need the magical damage to knock somebody down, and then they need to Reaper Scythe somebody out of the fight before they actually do too much. So I'm going to finish my last little sip of tea here, guys. Get myself all caffeinated. I'm excited for some SEA Dota today. I hope you guys are excited as well. In terms of what matches are going to be covered where, just for anyone who's settling in for the long haul, I'm going to have this match on this stream. As mentioned, Fnatic versus Boom ID is going over on BTS 1 at the moment. Then they're going to be handling the winner's side match, so the winner of this match versus the winner of the other match. The loser's match is going to be on this stream. And then, importantly, we have 2 decider matches going on at the same time after that. So the Group B decider, which is this group, is going to be here. And the Group A decider is going to be over on the other stream. So by the end of today, we'll actually know... by the end of today, we'll actually know all of the playoff teams for the SEA qualifiers. It's a bit of a condensed format, but I think it's been working out okay so far. They could have maybe had it be a little bit longer. I don't think it matters so much for SEA where there's only 2 spots available, but some of the other regions where there's, say, 3 spots, I think it might have been good to have a few more teams making it through. But anyway, I got a bit of a bouncy rune contest coming up here. CZY does manage to grab it, so it is actually going to end up being 3 bounty runes for Warriors Gaming Unity. Nice little start for them. The Lone Druid is actually in the off lane at the moment. Lina heading mid, and Darkseer is going to be heading down to the safe lane. So this is somewhat reminiscent of what we saw. Actually, this is a little bit different from what we saw Mineski doing. They were really prioritizing their offlaner by putting the supports with him. And in this game, Tigers are going to be... I think they want this Darkseer versus Sand King matchup primarily, but yeah, it looks like they're going to be prioritizing Moon a little bit more. Whoa. Trouble for Zephyr already. This tag team is extremely strong, and Felix immediately draws the first blood. So, mid lane, yeah, for Warriors Gaming is going to end up being this Morphling. Needs to be a little bit careful about the Lina nukes, but he's also got really nice damage and a really nice attack animation. So should be able to CS reasonably well here, though he is tanking a lot of auto attacks from Ajit every single time he tries to come forward. Sand King already has the Sandstorm skilled up, has a Sentry Ward as well, just in case there's a Sentry waiting. The 1437 right now. Just going to be looking to run some pulls, grab a little bit more experience for himself. He did skill the Bash at level 1. I don't mind seeing this, to be honest. This is my preferred build on Spirit Breaker, but it does mean you need to find a little bit of EXP before you can start rotating around with the Charge of Darkness. Zephyr taking some damage as he tries to steal this creep wave away. Gonna lead it back over to In Your Dream. Taking some tag team damage, in fact. CZY is just going for it. I mean, he's got triple mango and a stout shield, so it doesn't really need to be too worried. Actually, lots of support stout shields in this game. Tusk has a stout shield, Earth Spirit has a stout shield, Spirit Breaker has a stout shield. Lots of aggressive potential on both sides. Supports diving towers, applying pressure. Oh, Inkswell. Zephyr needs to get that roll away. He will be able to do so. CZY couldn't quite get in front of him. Let's check in on our lane CS so far. So Darkseer doing pretty well versus the Sand King, kind of doubling him up at the moment. Mid lane is about even, 7-4 against 7-1. And up top, Necrophos doing quite nicely for himself. Looks like he's just going to be going for some treads early on here. Down bottom, okay, they finally got the charge. They're making their way through. Only get the one-man burst strike, but no bash from 1437. And they don't have Orb of Venom or anything like that, so won't be able to really continue pursuit. And now they've got the Grimstroke making his presence felt down here. Just spamming out a little bit of damage with the Stroke of Fate, but not really too much more going on. And knowing that the Grimstroke is away from top lane should mean that In Your Dream and Zephyr are going to be able to play a little bit more aggressively up here. Though the Earth Spirit's still only level 1 for the time being. Might be a little bit difficult to make anything happen on this Necrophos. Over a mid lane charge coming in from 1437, just keeping Nothing to Say on his toes. He's going to morph into some Agi and then pop his salve, it looks like. Needs to be somewhat careful. There is a Dragon Slave available for Ajit. He's also salving himself up. And a big rotation from Felix heading over towards mid lane, but I believe this was spotted by this Radiant Observer Ward, so he actually needs to be a little bit careful about what he does here. Can't afford to get too close. If he gets charged into a Light Strike Array, then I think he's dead at that point. And Moon Meander, kind of low on regen, just wants to get away to use this salve, but he's getting interrupted at the moment. Still has decent duration on that surge, though. He gets under the tower, and looks like he is going to be just fine. 1437 did charge across just to try and help secure him. Mercury taking some damage up top. Oh, he's got the respect tag. Check it out. Did they all have it? No. 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 Okay, just the one guy on that train. Oh. Big trouble for Grimstroke. Stun into stun. He's got the Ink Swell. Can he get far enough away? Slowed down a little bit. Still holding onto that swell. Is going to get salved up, and he's going to be okay. Very nice burst strike out of Kang. Lone Druid still just farming. Not doing that great, actually. Only 11 CS on In Your Dream. He's heading down bottom now. So, okay. Looks like he's going to be taking over the safe lane. And they are going to have the Darkseer rotating over into the off lane. So, I don't know if they just weren't happy with how things were playing out, or they really... They're probably not happy with how little farm the Lone Druid is getting. They really need this Lone Druid to get some items. Nice roll. Get the stun, get the kickback. Can they get this kill? Very nice for the Lone Druid to grab that one. Gonna grab himself another Wraith Band, and Zephyr does manage to grab another one of those bounties. So, ends up being 2 for 2 on the bounty rune trade. Nothing to say. Dropping kind of low at mid lane, but Lina also in kind of a precarious situation. Triple Null Talisman for this Lina. My god. How much Spell Amp has he got? So he's got 15% Spell Amp. Charge in. Stun not gonna land. What are they doing here? Moon's over here. Okay. Her Spirit's gonna be looking for something, but they see him. He's scouted, rotating through here, and doesn't have any vision up on the high ground. Does have an Observer Ward. If he plants this, it's gonna be pretty easily dewarded. Or do they actually see him plant it? They're gonna see him come out of the fog without an ob. So they know that it's in here somewhere, but they might think that it's up on the high ground or something like that. They're kind of pinging in the vicinity, but don't know if they'll find it. The new Sentry AoE should certainly help them, though. CZY with an Invis Rune, just the 1-1-1 build so far for him. Moon Meander is going to be going for the Dominator this game. A little bit surprised. I mean, it is kind of the standard build. We got scan on scan at mid, but I feel like Pipe is just so valuable this game. Maybe Mech isn't that valuable. Maybe you just go like Dominator Pipe, something like that. What useful creeps are there to dominate? I guess the Purge creep is pretty handy. Even just like a Alpha Wolf. Pretty useful for the Lone Druid push. This Invis Rune's only going to last a tiny bit longer. Zephyr, can he find a roll away? Gets the kickback. He's going to be okay. Snowball not really there in time. And CZY used all of his spells already. He's in trouble. The charge coming through. Ajit also making his way over. This time around, he's going to land the stun, and this is going to be an easy kill. It is a big 4-man rotation for Tigers, but they're going to try and follow this up with an immediate smoke. Heading over to mid. Nothing to say. Not sitting on all that much HP, and this is a very high damage Laguna Blade. 450 damage. Actually, he's like... He's almost low enough that it could kill him straight up. I mean, of course, he's got base magic resist, but needs to be careful. Alright, Snowball in. Ajit in a little bit of trouble. He is fairly tanky. 1437 coming through with the bulldoze as well. Stun lands. Ajit just getting right-clicked. Nothing to say, does not have his ultimate just yet, so won't be able to morph into the Lina and finish her off. Up at top, roll coming through onto Mercury. They don't have the silence, but they do have the slow, and it's just the burn damage from Moon Meander. That maxed out Ion Shell doing a ton of work, and they will be able to bring down that Necrophos. Okay, so not exactly the explosive start that I was expecting from Tigers with this double melee support and the Ion Shell, but they're now starting to get things going, and that was pretty much by far the best kill that they could have gotten on the map. This Necrophos was starting to find some pretty good farm. Triple Wraithband for the Morphling. Everybody just stacking their inventory full of stat items at the moment, especially with the new TP slot. Kang already has a full Vanguard. Oh my god. 8-minute Vanguard on the Sand King. He is quite farmed.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So he's going to be very difficult to deal with. Morphling being charged, but still only the 1 point in the Charge of Darkness. Coming in. Morph actually needs to be a little bit careful. Alright, does manage to get the roll away. Nicely done. He's morphing strength, but they're still chasing, and he's already used the waveform. Ajit closing the gap, just needs to make sure to land this stun. Will do so. Looking like he is 100% dead. CZY and Felix both trying to come over and help, but looks like they might also just be casualties. Snowballing onto Zephyr, but what more can they really do? The charge comes through. Kang thinks about something here, but he's only got 2 points in the Burrow Strike. Just sits in the Sandstorm. They do have Mercury here, though. They get the Reaper Scythe out onto the Bear, but In Your Dream, he's not dead just yet, and a nice stun from Ajit buys a little bit more time. In Your Dream thinks about coming back in here, needs to be a little bit careful. Felix is going to have an ultimate, well, not an ultimate, but another Stroke of Fate up soon. They're switching over onto 1437 instead. Looks like they will grab that kill. And Zephyr also trapped in the backlines. He's going to be brought down. They lose both supports. It's a double kill for the Necrophos, but lucky for them that they managed to keep all of their cores alive. So overall trade actually ends up being pretty good for Tigers. They got the Morphling and the Tusk. They lose the 2 supports, but they're going to win by far on those metrics. In Your Dream, still more pressure being applied by 1437. Top lane, Moon Meander gonna very quickly take out this tier 1 tower. Bottom lane pressure is coming in, but Zephyr goes for the kickback onto Mercury. He's in trouble. He gets the Ghost Shroud off. We'll be able to heal up a little bit. Magnetize is being spread. Still 2 more rocks for the Earth Spirit. Felix. Alright, and that's no more rocks now. Phantom's Embrace comes through. Felix almost ticking out. He's down. 1437 also finds the charge onto Unity over in the trees, and now Sand King trying to escape. Doesn't have any mana left to help out. CZY trying to escape as well. He's also dead. And Tigers with a big rotation down to bottom will find themselves 3 quick picks. And defend their tier 1 tower successfully. That was an extremely successful couple of minutes for them. They're only just now a tiny bit ahead on the net worth, but In Your Dream at the very least has been able to find some good farm. Moon Meander is going to be going for that, well, at least Hood to begin with, probably Pipe not too far away. And the Morphling just kind of middling on the net worth right now. He just keeps getting pressured. He can't stay on, with the Earth Spirit and the Spirit Breaker, he can't stay on full Agi to just keep on farming. And he's actually being forced into some of these fights that I don't think he really wants to be a part of. So they're going to camp the Sand King down at mid lane. Moon Meander kills yet another tier 1 tower with this dominated siege creep. He's pulling in a bunch of gold for his team. And that's going to start translating into a couple of items. Not really for the supports just yet, though they are getting a little bit of net worth going for themselves. But this timing with the Lone Druid and the items from the Darkseer is going to be pretty scary. I just really don't think that Warriors Gaming are going to be ready to fight. Ajit's gone for some Arcane Boots. Don't know what the build is going to be for him. Maybe still a Yule Scepter. The Yule seems kind of important. Maybe he'll just go for a fast Shadow Blade or something. A little bit weird to see Arcane Boots on the Lina. The new phase do not feel great. So I would guess that like Treads would probably be the go-to for most people. He is just going to be going for a Yule Scepter. Morphling, standard stuff, picks up the Morbid Mask, and now just jungling away. So a little bit of a lull as both teams are trying to get their supports up to some important levels. CZY realizing that something's going on here, but As he realized too late, Ajit's rotating up looking for him. Chasing in. He does have a TP scroll. Tries to push himself into the trees. Not gonna work. Now getting locked down by the stun and some easy auto attacks to finish this kill. Zephyr even securing that one. Just going for a double bracer build so far on this Earth Spirit. Tanking up 1500 HP. Is going to be pretty difficult to bring down, and he will find himself in the middle of these fights quite a lot, especially with the new rolling boulders, so I think it makes sense. 147 getting gone on, but he pops the bulldoze and now just turns it around. Kang's pretty tanky to get the vacuum back together. The Morphling taking damage off the Ion Shell. They do get the Soulbind down. Double Reaper Scythe attempted, but they get neither kill. Spirit Breaker almost dead, but not quite. And looks like he might be able to get off another charge to buy his team a little bit more time. Moon Meander almost down. Two-man charge through. Ajit still fighting. Lobs out the Laguna Blade, but it's not enough to kill Mercury. He's got that hood, so he ends up surviving. It's a 2-for-1 so far. They've lost the Morphling. An important target. Zephyr finds another stun. Wants to finish off Felix. Will be able to. This Ion Shell still ticking. Still ticking, but it is a triple kill for Mercury. Ajit just trying to find a little hidey hole away from Kang, and he has done so successfully. Almost lands the stun. Kang knows where he is. It's only 2 points in the Burrow Strike, though, so it's not actually going to kill off Ajit. And at the top side of the map, it's just In Your Dream going at it all by himself. He finds a tier 2 tower, and he kills off the Tusk. Ajit on the run. I think he's going to be just fine. Yeah, he's okay. Okay, I think that's another big win for Tigers. They took a... What? That seemed like a 4v... It was a 4v4 at bottom. I guess Tusk wasn't actually there. But they did fine in that 4v4, and then they also took out a tier 2 tower at top and grabbed a bunch more farm on their lone turret. So, In Your Dream, despite having a slow start, only had like 11 CS 5 minutes into the game. Now caught up really nicely, and Tigers just going to keep going from strength to strength. As soon as they get this pipe, I think the game gets really tough for Warriors Gaming. They do have a Blink Dagger now up on the Sand King, opting for more points in his abilities as opposed to getting either level 10 talent. And there is a Yules for the Necrophos. Oh, over at mid lane, Grimstroke trying to just shove the lanes a little bit, but gets easily brought down. That's the one problem with these kind of split pushing supports like the Jakiro and the Grimstroke and Rubik and stuff. You're trying to spam waves because you feel like, it's not a big deal if they kill me, but it's just so easy for Tigers with the Spirit Breaker and the Earth Spirit to kind of go for these things. Zephyr's going to reveal this smoke on the other side. He comes running into them. Can they focus him down? They're using a bunch of spells. He's still quite tanky, though. The double bracer build doing its work, and the Ion Shell is just ticking down CZY. They've locked down the Necrophos. He gets Laguna Bladed in the face. It's a double kill for Moon Meander. Felix tried to come in here. He's also going to get locked down by the stun. Ajit on a mega kill streak, and Tigers finding their stride now. 5-manning up. They got a bunch of wall illusions. They've got themselves the Alpha Wolf as well, and they even find the Sand King a little bit further across. He's tanky, but is he tanky enough? The Burrow Strike doesn't get him out of there. Nice roll forward from Zephyr, lands the stun. And the Tigers will chase down yet another kill. Moon Meander still just playing the objective. Looking to force things up to the high ground somewhat. Warriors Gaming with this Morphling just not ready to fight at all. And this patch just feels super fast. The tower is melting, and these heroes that can't fight early on really seem to be struggling. Tier 3 tower already dead 60 minutes into the game. Nice fear from the Spirit Bear. It's going to help keep Moon Meander alive, and Tigers retreat a-okay. Plenty of HP regen coming in from the Pipe Aura and the Dominator Aura, and they're really just laying their claim to this entire dire side of the map. What can they even do? They've got vision, but the vision is just so far away. Like, you can see how quickly this game has gotten out of control for Warriors Gaming, because they are planning to be able to play around these wards, but that's not the zone that Tigers are going to be playing in anymore. They've actually pushed the pace of the game so much that they've basically made these wards useless, because they're not going to be farming their side of the map anymore. They're just going to be pressuring and ganking the other side. Lena's got some insane cast range going with the Aether Lens and the cast range talent. A little bit of an unusual build. Warriors Gaming do manage to get this quick D ward back behind their tower. Morphling's still farming. They need nothing to say to just keep on grabbing items, but for now they have to do their best to defend. And they are kind of struggling. Zephyr is going to be going for that Spirit Vessel now. I mean, that's so good against the Necrophos and the Morphling. Necro even going to be going for a BKB here. And Lena going to be going for an A on this. It's a really interesting Lina build. Alright. Thinking about going in here, but feels like we really have not seen anything out of this Sand King Blink Dagger just yet. And in a lot of ways, it's going to be negated by this pipe. The pipe is on cooldown, so this is probably their best opportunity to go if they want to, but they have to be careful of the charge vacuum counter initiation. And the tier 2 is already pretty low. I don't know if they actually want to take this fight. The Morphling's coming over as if he wants to, but alright, they get the silence onto Felix. Looks like he might just get focused down, no trouble. Hardly any commitment whatsoever. 1437 is looking for more. They've managed to drag Mercury outside of the base. They do go in now, focusing towards the Lina. Epicenter doing decent damage, but she's just so damn fast. She walks it off. They get the vacuum together. It doesn't quite work properly with the stun combination, but CZY is still dead. Kang's getting focused down next. The Laguna Blade finishes him off. They did manage to drop a Reaper Scythe and find the 1 kill. 2 for 2 trade at the moment. Well, 3 supports and 1 core going down. And the Tigers, after taking that tier 2, just going to back up, reset, keep on farming, and look to continue the fight another day. This Morphling still just not really in a position to do anything just yet. Really wants that BKB. They even got a buyback out of Felix in that fight. I really don't quite know why Warriors Gaming were so keen to take a fight for the tier 2. I think they could have taken a fight for the tier 3 instead. They have pretty good D-push. They've got Ice Shards, they've got the Stroke of Fate. So I really think they could have just kind of shoved other lanes on the map. But they seem afraid. I think they're really worried about the Spirit Breaker charge and whatnot. 1437 only going for the 1 point in Charge of Darkness here. I guess it doesn't really scale that well anymore, huh? Only an extra 25 move speed per level. Meanwhile, Bulldoze gives you a bunch of status resistance, and of course you want to max out your Crater Bash. Alright. There you go, got some Bounty Runes. Kang just trying to push lanes. He's going to be going for a Crimson Guard here. I don't really know if right-click damage is the problem that they're facing right now, but In Your Dream is starting to build it up a little bit more. He's got his Mjolnir now. Up top, silence, stuns, sentry ward. Kang thought he was tanky enough, but looks like it's not nearly enough. As he now gets brought down. Zephyr has been having a fantastic game on this Earth Spirit. And Tigers just setting their sights on the top lane right now, it looks like. Gonna take out the Shrine quickly. Maybe start looking towards Roshan. Darkseer, Moon Meander just walks up this hill. He doesn't even have a whole lot of vision in this area, but he knows that there's just nothing that they can do about him. He's got 30 HP regen. He's got a Vanguard. He's got his pipe. They absolutely just cannot kill him. And maybe that's part of the... I was talking about it yesterday, saying that, oh, you know, the carries of the previous patch didn't really get nerfed that much. Like, I guess that they're probably still viable. But maybe this patch at the moment is just too fast for these Morphlings and TBs and Phantom Lancers to actually play. You're getting run down for Lanes of Rax in like 20 minutes. CZY easily brought down. Yeah, what can you do? If you're losing, like, if you're losing tier 3s this quickly, these hard carries really don't have much room to play. 1437 comes zooming in with the surge. So much damage. They've already burst down the Grimstroke. He falls to the Laguna Blade. CZY buying back, but he's just getting right click down. 1437 knocking him back with the Nether Strike. They found Kang in the tree line. Hasn't been able to get the epicenter off just yet. Another charge coming through. The super long range stuns from the Lina, following every single one of these charges up, and that is going to be a tier 3 dead. 3 down on Warriors Gaming, and this might just be GG 22 minutes into this game. They're going to take the 1 lane of Rax, and I just don't see any way for Warriors Gaming to push them outside of this space. Yeah, they're just going to saunter over to the mid lane. The Morphling is kind of looking at them, but what can Warriors Gaming actually do? They were even ahead for a little bit there, but just not having the ability to get any impact out of their Morphling. 1437 is going to get his TP cancelled, but I don't think he's actually in too much danger. There's a bunch of heroes here hitting the shrine. Tigers need to be a little bit careful about how they play this. They do have a vacuum, but no wall. Zephyr trying to roll his way down onto the low ground, but it gets canceled. He goes through with the slow, the silence, the vacuum back into the magnetize. Now the charge onto everybody. In Your Dream is on the low ground, just chopping wood, laying in with the auto attacks. They Laguna Blade down the Morphling. He gets annihilated. They are going to try here with the epicenter. Is it enough damage? Looks like In Your Dream should be brought down. Ajit still fairly healthy. He's got this Bloodstone. Necrophos, nice dodge with the Yules. Is going to keep himself alive, but now the Ancients are getting involved in this, and that's going to make it just that little bit easier for Tiger to right-click him down. Beyond godlike streak for this Ajit Lina. And still with 3 heroes alive, they are going to be easily able to shove these lanes out. Go and top off at the shrine. And away you go. The Necro and the Sand King doing decent damage in that fight, but Morphling still just struggling to do anything. Really has not been able... I guess part of the reason that Morphling was so strong last patch is just how good he is in lane, being able to CS super effectively and build up an experience lead. Not really so now that the deny mechanics have been changed. So Morphling just, at least in this game, feeling a little bit slow and ineffective. Got a Diffusal Blade picked up now for In Your Dreams, kind of a nice damage item. And Moon Meander going to be going for yet another Darkseer item. Just pick up the mech, make his team more and more unkillable. 1, 4 through 7, also adding to the auras. He's going to be picking up a Vlad's. This team is just looking so damn strong when they're all playing together. Check Roshan for the Aegis. I guess what, give that one over to the Lone Druid. Ajit doesn't really need it. He did use the Bloodstone heal in that last fight, and of course he doesn't have any respawn time reduction from this, so it's not like he has a free life, but still. Give it over to the Lone Druid, and now look towards the Mega Creeps. WarriorsGaming.Unity have to try and muster some kind of a defense. Would this game maybe have gone a little bit differently if Sand King hadn't gone for the Vanguard? Maybe if he'd just picked up Blink and had been combat ready a little bit earlier. Maybe that would have changed things. Or maybe if his build had been a little bit different as well, like maxing out the Burrow Strike earlier instead of maxing Sandstorm. But it really feels like Warriors Gaming were just not ready for the pace of game from Tigers. Might be worth it next game to ban out the Lone Druid, since it did allow them to kind of push the pace a bit. But more than anything, it feels like it was the Darkseer and the 2 supports that really enabled Tigers this game. Might even be worth it to ban the Spearbreaker if Tigers are just going to be first phasing it. And now they're heading up. They're not even going to go via bottom lane, just coming straight in through the mid. Lone Druid has his sight set on the tower. Ajit going to be playing on the outside. And there's just way too much sustain here. Crimson Guard gets popped, but he's still chunking this tower. They're going to try and go for 1, 4 through 7, but what can they actually do? They get the Soulbind out. The Laguna Blade is already killed off the tusk. They get the vacuum back into the stun. This time around, the combination from Tigers is great. They're popping the epicenter, but it's just not doing any damn damage. The pipe buff soaks the entire thing up. Mercury is sitting in the middle of this fight, just getting auto attack down. He doesn't even get the Reaper's Scythe off. And Warriors Gaming already tapping out. 26 minutes in, they're disconnecting, they're done. Tigers very convincingly taking this game. Even after a little bit of a slow start, I don't think the lanes worked out exactly the way that they were anticipating. But, woof, oh my god, I am throwing my phone around apparently. Yeah, I don't think the lanes went exactly the way that they were anticipating. I think they were hoping that In Your Dream was going to have a slightly easier time at the beginning, but they swapped the lanes. They got the Darkseer online with the maxed out Ion Shell, and from that point, they just completely took control of the game. Not really much else to look at. The Necrophos had a good start, but just didn't have anyone else to really play with. I think if that Sand King Blink Dagger had come a little bit faster, then the Necrophos and the Sand King would have been able to run around and get some kills, but SK 8-minute, well 7-minute Vanguard, but then a 15-minute Blink Dagger just kind of got slowed down a little bit, which was troubling. And what, by 15 minutes, where were we at in terms of, wait, can I not? Yeah, so this is what we were kind of looking at by 15 minutes. The Darkseer was already huge. The Lone Druid had caught back up after a slow start, and the Morphling was still just kind kind of nothing, to be honest. So there you go. That's going to wrap it up for our first game here. Chongqing Major SEA qualifiers will continue in just a couple of minutes with Game 2 of Tigers versus Warriors Gaming Unity. Make sure you tune back in then.